Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is CMG Talk. This is Catherine Gallagher. And today I'd just like to drop on and talk about regrets. Regrets. What does regret mean? If you look at a dictionary definition of regret, it says that you feel sad, you feel disappointed over something that you have not either completed or something that you didn't resolve, or something maybe that you did not take action on. It didn't maybe work out the way you expected. Maybe you didn't pursue it. Maybe something you gave up on too quickly. There's a sense of wishful thinking, regret. What kind of things, if anything, do you regret? Do you ever look back on particular relationships and have regret about? Do you look back on aspects or times in your life and regret that you never pursued something? A career? That house that you wish you wish you'd got to quicker? The flat? Do you wish that you had apologised, made amends? Do you wish you'd been maybe a bit firmer? You see, I go through life very much believing that life is short, precious, time. For me, if you're listening to episodes that I drop, you'll hear me constantly saying time is precious. The most important thing I can give people is my time. I don't waste time on regrets. I resolve things, you see. I put aside my pride. If I say sorry, then I'm acknowledging my humanness. If I've made a mistake, I own it because I want to grow and learn from it. If someone doesn't receive it, accept it, well, that's maybe because they're not ready, but that's on them. If they then come to me when they are, then that's for me to have an open heart. If we've missed an opportunity, why regret it? We can take action. We can still pursue it. It might not be available to us. But if we don't ask, we don't go, we don't know. For me, regrets are our mind, our heart saying, if only. We're looking back on a junction that we made a decision. At that time, I guess we thought it was the best decision. Didn't we? Right? It was a decision we decided. Whether it was we decided not to pursue a relationship, end a relationship, whether it was that we decided to go forward with a relationship, whether it was we decided to make that significant decision, whatever we decided to do, are regrets helpful? We might feel sad when we look back on regrets. We might feel a sense of failure, disappointment over a situation. But can we do something about it? If I've made a mistake, instead of saying, why not, instead of feeling regret, make amends, take action. If it's the time has gone, maybe the person is no longer alive and you can't, then resolve it within yourself. Write that letter. You might not be able to send it, but it's important we resolve these feelings within ourselves. How can we manage more helpfully a regret? How can we look at regrets in a better way for ourselves? Owning the decisions, taking ownership and accountability. I did what I did at that time. I felt it was the best decision. I might want to be able to change my mind. I might want to wish I could turn the clock back. I might want to wish I'd made that apology or changed my mind or made a different decision or made a wiser choice. Taking quicker action. But the reality is, it didn't happen. Whatever's happened, whatever we feel regretful for, we can't change the past. We can't go back and change the past. We can learn, we can grow, so as not to repeat. No one's ever said to me that they are glad if someone is caught up in that victimization, that, oh my goodness, I feel so bad that I made that decision. I really hate what I've done. I feel sorry for myself. This is terrible. Why did it? Nobody ever really celebrates when someone's stuck in that state of victimization, feeling helpless, feeling so... Somebody once said they're wallowing in their own self-pity. I like to think of things in a more kind way. I think people get stuck in their mindsets, but no one ever appreciates that. If you've done something you regret that's caused another person harm, what we always want is for that person to have grown, learned, to do different, to do better, and not repeat. That's what we always want. We want to know that if somebody's done something that's caused harm to another person or to a mass of people, that person makes amends, gives service, changes. If they're not prepared to do that, that's a different matter. Whatever the regret is about, regret is there. It symbolises something to us, doesn't it? It reminds us that we need to be more mindful, more careful of the decisions and choices we make from now on. It serves us something. And if we look at it in a different way, we can then change how we move forward in life. Rather than being stuck with regret, we see that regret is telling us, be careful from now on in the choices and decisions you make. Have you learned from that regret? Have you learned about what that regret is telling you about yourself? Is it to be wiser? Is it to be more humble? Is it to be more proactive? Is it to be kinder? Is it not to let opportunities go past you? Is it to have more confidence and self-belief? Is it to be more generous, more serving of others? What is the regret telling you? Is it to look after yourself better? Is it to look after others better? Is it to apologise quicker? Take the message. Learn from the regrets. Learn about the decisions and choices you've made in the past and how to make different, better, wiser decisions. Learn about yourself too. the message we receive gives us wisdom, clarity. It allows us to then see what helps us to reach our full potential and what we truly desire and need, not just what we want, but what we need in life, what's good for us. When sometimes people say, I'm regretful, I'm repentant, I'm penitent, I have deep remorse. It's reactive to disappointment in life. It's something that you've done, a choice you've taken, but we can't go back. Whether it's words, whether it's actions, whatever you have said or done. But it's hard to shake off. It's hard. It weighs heavy on you. Remember, we get more of what we think of. And if you are constantly reliving or replaying, or you're triggered by certain days, certain times, certain anniversaries, and that regret repeats itself, it comes back in your mind, and you relive it, change the script. Because those intrusive, unhelpful, negative emotions and thoughts that are playing in your mind are telling you that you're remembering the action, you're remembering the words of the regret. But have you learned about yourself? Have you learned about your decisions? Have you learned about what to say different? Have you learned about you? Have you grown from it? That's surely what's important. We need to accept our feelings. We need to honour how we feel. And if you have done or said something, look at repairing. Repairing, if possible. Forgiveness isn't just about forgiving others. It's also about forgiving yourself. If you've listened to the episode that I dropped on forgiveness, reframe. Think about it in a different, better way for yourself. And remember, start looking at how things are for you. When we own it, when we apologise, when we learn, when we grow, we move forward. We can then change our attitude, change our behaviour, we can grow, and we can relieve ourselves of the negative emotion attached to regret. Otherwise, we're caught up with guilt and blaming and self-blame and all the anger and frustration and disappointment, the negative emotions that are attached to regret. When we think of regret, it's because we're looking back on the would-haves, the could-haves, and the should-haves, isn't it? I wish I had done, I could have done, I should have done. It's what we feel we've missed out on. What we feel we ought to have done, we could have done, we should have done. The choice that we made, was it the right one? The action, the words, could they have been framed differently? Could you've done something different. Thinking about have I let it go, that thing that might have been good for me? Or maybe I should have changed my mind. Regret comes in all different shapes and forms. It can be life choices, relationships, education, financial, what we say, what we do, the impact that it has on us and others around us can be immense. But we often underestimate the strength we have, the fortitude we have, the abilities we have to be able to move forward from this. Be kind to yourself. Reframe. Learn, grow, and write down what you've learned and whether you need to make amends, what actions you need to take, and focus on how to move forward from regret. Getting stuck with regret is unhelpful. I'm going to talk about these things further, but I wanted to touch on this because I think it's really important. I think it's really important to focus on how to move on and move forward, but let's focus on this in a different way, in other ways too. Regret is something to learn and grow from. Thanks for listening. Take good care. This is Catherine Gallagher, CMG Talk. As always, if you want to contact me, you can contact me at stepupcmg@xln.co.uk. If you're enjoying the episodes, remember to like, share and download and allow the channels to see you're enjoying them, and make sure you follow me so you don't miss out on any of the episodes I'm dropping. This is all about mental health. We all have mental health. You have a mental health, I have a mental health, just as much as you have physical and emotional, spiritual health. Thanks very much. Take good care, and I look forward to listening and having you drop in again. This is just a short episode, but I wanted to talk about regrets. Speak to you soon.